autopsy. She didn't know why her husband died, and eventually she couldn't even get her husband's heart back. It was in a drawer in this hospital. And he had, and so Marshall had tons and tons of primary source documents, like over something like 500 documents. And he had used Document Cloud to annotate them. And so what he wanted to do, and what we kind of started talking about, was how to let the readers basically fact check him and go through and do their own research behind just the text story. And so on every fact that had a document behind it, or an annotation, we actually put those right within the story, and you could hover over them and see a little chunk of that document where that line came from.
And what did you find? Did readers like that? Were they distracted, and did they go and look at that more, or did they ignore it and not actually?
No, readers loved it, and a lot of people said, this is good on a number of levels. One for fact checking and making sure the reporter is doing a good job, and another for if someone's very interested in the topic, they can go through and see the documents and see that the story is really just the very surface level, and there's just so much more that he edited out as he was writing it. So.
Julia, do you want to talk a little bit about what we did with the What They Know story? Yeah. And a lot of that was not the actual story, but
well, so what's interesting in the context of this is that we a lot of the What They Know stories, and maybe we should talk about the one that you did with Facebook, were basically analysis of computer code. Is basically what we did, right? So Emily sat and looked at the header data that was transmitted between a user and Facebook and saw the data flows to see where that user's data was going. And the thing that is so incredible about this is that Emily and I are sitting there in front of a computer watching ridiculous hundreds of lines of code, and we're like gasping, like, oh, like this, as if we're watching a movie, right?
Really nerdy.
Nobody else has any idea what we're talking about. And the really sad thing is, you go to your editor and you're like, we have this incredible finding, you can't even believe it, and they're just like, I need an anecdote. Yeah. I need a person. And it was like, and the sad thing is that, like, as much as we love data, what we have learned is you have to tell these stories to people. So you have to work your way backwards. You find the code, and then you figure out what the problem is, and you have to find someone who's sort of using that, and then build it back. So Emily found this woman, Linda Twombly, who lived up in New Hampshire. So Emily had first discovered that there was a company that was tracking users by their
with their political affiliation and their age and their name and their religion and all.
So maybe you should take it from here, because
no, but so basically what we did is we looked at the computer code, and we were able to see what Facebook was transmitting to all of these advertising companies that they weren't supposed to be sending out. And then we used that to track down this woman up in New Hampshire, and they knew that she was a grandmother, and they knew how much her house was worth, but they knew she was Republican, and she read the Bible, and kind of all this information about her. We showed her what they knew about her, and she was just shocked.
Right, and we annotated the code, so you could like see the code, and then we had like little call-outs and this and that, and no one remembers any of that except the picture of Linda sitting in her like living room
in a rocking chair
and being like, how do they know all that about me? And so it's sort of like this heartbreaking thing, because the data-driven journalism is so hard, and you kill yourself, and then when you get the data done, you're only halfway done.